You are a white lady telling me what is racist to you, which is
gay American who's been told what homophobia and hatred looks like.
You don't think
I
it's racist if somebody turns to the leader of...
Hey fanatics, grab a seat because we've got some hot tea for you. Comedian Rosie O'Donnell has recently stirred up quite a storm by shedding light on her tumultuous experience as a former panelist on the show The View. She sat down for a candid conversation with Brooke Shields on her podcast Now What? And let me tell you, the details she dropped are something else. She hinted at a behind-the-scenes puppet master, suggesting that the show wasn't just about women's voices, but more about the whims of a certain white male CIS producer, the late Bill Getty. Yikes. But here's the juiciest bit. Her interactions with the one and only Whoopi Goldberg. Rosie's whole narrative took a twist when she revealed that her initial exit from the show was due to her clashing with Hasselbeck. But guess what? Upon her return, it wasn't Liz who was getting on Rosie's nerves. It was actually Whoopi. And with the accusations Rosie's leveled up against her, it's safe to say she's in full-on panic mode. Stay tuned for more on this and subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop with all the latest celebrity gossip. Back in 2006, when Rosie initially joined the show, she had this teamwork attitude, ready to dive into the world of daytime talk. But hold on tight, because things took a turn. Rosie claims that her enthusiasm was quickly dampened when she discovered that her co-panelist Elizabeth Hasselbeck seemed to be enjoying some preferential treatment from none other than producer Bill Getty. Now the whole dynamic got even more complex. Rosie revealed that Elizabeth was on the show and Bill Getty was the producer. But here's the kicker. Rosie thought of him as a kind of paradox. You see, he was a man, an older cisgender white man Republican, which didn't quite align with Rosie's beliefs and values. And get this, he seemed to favor Elizabeth. Rosie claimed that he would go into Elizabeth's dressing room, handing out notes and talking points that had a pretty strong Republican slant. It's like Elizabeth had the inside scoop on what the Republican press was releasing daily. There was a time when Rosie and Elizabeth were sort of friends, in a civil kind of way, Rosie recalled. But then, Rosie felt like she got thrown under the bus. Then came that infamous on-air feud in 2007. Rosie was flabbergasted, thinking, "Are you effing kidding me?" She walked out of that show and said, "I'm not coming back." She held true to her words until they asked her to come back a few years later. This time, there was another surprise waiting for her. Whoopi Goldberg was on the show, and boy, did they clash in ways that Rosie couldn't have predicted. But that's not the end of the drama. Rosie made another startling revelation. Whoopi Goldberg didn't want to discuss Bill Cosby after he was accused of rape. Talk about tension behind the scenes. Rosie wanted to dig into the Bill Cosby topic, but Whoopi wasn't having none of it. As Rosie delved into her experience, she couldn't help but share her perspective on how she felt like she was made out to be the villain in the show's drama. It was quite a shift for her, considering she had previously produced her own show and was used to being in charge. At The View, she found herself without much decision-making power, and that was a new and challenging dynamic for her. Rosie also let us in on another secret. The View seemed to be ignoring some seriously significant matters. We're talking about the Rory Kennedy documentary about Abu Ghraib and those alleged US torture cases. Even the hashtag #MeToo allegations didn't escape Rosie's scrutiny. She was completely taken aback when Whoopi just flat out refused to talk about these matters on air, while the entire world watched the legal battles unfold. Oh man, if you thought the drama was already at its peak, you're in for another shocker. So get this. Things escalated to the max in 2007. ABC was like, "See you later, Rosie," and decided to part ways with her, effectively putting an end to her contract. But guess what? This wasn't the first time Rosie had some serious beef with Whoopi. Let's rewind a bit. The year was 2020, and Rosie had a chat with Howard Stern, and in it, she revealed that her relationship with Whoopi had been rocky from the get-go. For instance, Rosie recounted this hilarious incident involving a commercial break signal. Apparently, Whoopi totally missed the signal, and this led to some serious tension right from day one. Yep, day one. And they were already butting heads. But wait, there's more. Brace yourself for this. There's a tell-all book that spilled all the juicy details. It's called Ladies Who Punched: The Explosive Story of The View, and it's penned by Ramin Satuta. This book, guys, is like the ultimate insider's guide to all the chaos and fireworks that went down on the show. Rosie didn't hold back one bit. She went ahead and dished out the details that Whoopi was anything but your friendly neighborhood talk show co-host. She didn't mince words when she revealed that Whoopi's on-air demeanor was, and I quote, mean as anyone has ever been on television. And it doesn't stop there. Rosie wasn't playing any games when it came to setting things straight. During her chat with Stern, she made it super clear that she wasn't gunning for a feud with Whoopi. Now there's another layer to this tangled web of drama. Rosie also let us in on a shocking revelation. Ellen DeGeneres, the beloved talk show host known for her lovable persona and witty humor, was apparently not so friendly to Rosie either. Apparently, Ellen dropped a truth bomb that left Rosie utterly flabbergasted. You won't believe this, but she declared to none other than Larry King that she didn't know Rosie and that they weren't friends. Say what? But wait, it gets even more interesting. Rosie remembered a time when they seemed like BFFs. Rosie held Ellen's babies, which is a super sweet thing to do, right? You'd think that would seal the friendship deal, but guess what? Underneath all that sweetness, there was trouble brewing. Here's where things got twisty. Rosie felt a connection when Ellen came out as a lesbian, like they were in it together. But then, things went sideways. When Rosie faced a lot of media attention and criticism, Ellen wasn't there for her. Yep, the same Ellen who's all about kindness on TV. However, recently, Ellen sort of reached out to Rosie. Yep, a few weeks ago, Rosie got a text from Ellen, checking in and stuff. Safe to say, it's been quite a roller coaster for Goldberg on her show, The View. Remember when the show was all about diverse voices and healthy discussions? Well, it seems like those days are a thing of the past. Now, many are calling out the show for tuning into a breeding ground for intense arguments and biased opinions. There's a strong belief that Goldberg might be manipulating conversations to fit her own beliefs, turning the show into a bit of a one-sided echo chamber. Dissenting viewpoints, they're often sidelined, lost in the noise. Things got even messier recently. Goldberg's been making some pretty controversial statements on air, and it's left folks wondering if she's really promoting open dialogue or just trying to stifle differing opinions. And it doesn't help that she's been more focused on defending her words instead of actually thinking about the harm they might have caused. Fans and critics alike have raised their eyebrows at this. Then, bam! The View suddenly goes off the air, and everyone's left speculating why the show was canned so abruptly. With mounting pressure from viewers and advertisers, it seems like the network had no other choice but to pull the plug on a show that had apparently lost its reputation as a platform for meaningful conversations. As the dust settles, public opinion about Goldberg's alleged downfall is all over the place. Some people are standing by her side, but others are actually relieved that she might finally be facing some accountability. Social media is buzzing with discussions about needing a fresh perspective on TV talk shows, something more balanced. And rumors about a replacement for Goldberg? Oh yeah, that sparked intense debates. Everyone's throwing out names. Let's see how it ends. The future of The View is up in the air, but one thing's for sure, people are hungry for change. Some are demanding accountability, saying it's high time to hold her and the show responsible for their actions. They've been called non-caring, one-sided, and even cruel. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on all this? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.